Shalom. This is a continuation to an earlier video, and this part is about captivity. And also, I ended up on the last one on the second Esdras. So here I'd like to expand on that. Alright, so this is just the same article from before. Journal of Columbus, 1492. Nor should anything else be expected, as this island is in line east and west from island of Hierro in the Canaries. Their legs are very straight, all in line, and no belly, but very well formed. They came to the ship in small canoes made out of the trunk of a tree like a long boat, and all of one piece and wonderfully worked considering the country. They are large, some of them holding 40 to 45 men, others smaller, and some only large enough to hold one man. They are propelled with the paddle like baker's shovel and go at a marvelous rate. And I just read that to reiterate this. This is 2nd Esdras 13 and 40. Those are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive, and he carried them over the waters. So we came over the waters. And so came they into another land. But they took this counsel amongst themselves, that they would leave the multitude of the heathen, and go forth into a further country, where never mankind dwelled, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land, and still didn't when they got there. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river, in these canoes that Columbus was commentating on. They are large, some of them holding 40 to 45 men. So how many of those could a king make? Thousands, right? Hundreds of thousands. If you're trying to get rid of people, man, you could do it. Alright, but now let's go on to the part of slavery. Alright, let me just find it. Alright, so now from this base on Haiti, Columbus sent expedition after expedition into the interior. They found no gold fields, but had to fill up the ships returning to Spain with some kind of dividend. In the year 1495, they went on a great slave raid, rounded up 1,500 Arawak men, women, and children, put them in pens guarded by Spaniards and dogs, then picked the 500 best specimens to load onto ships. Of those 500, 200 died en route. The rest arrived alive in Spain and were put up for sale by Archdeacon of the town, who reported that although the slaves were naked as the day they were born, they showed no more embarrassment than animals. Columbus later wrote, "Let us, in the name of the Holy Trinity," which is going off, go on sending all the slaves that can be sold. Which, if you're a righteous man of the Bible, and you want to have a slave, and you make the slave, first of all, you put Hebrews into slavery, so they should have only been in slavery for 6 years. Then the 7th year, those should have gone free. But this man didn't do that. So they rounded up 1,500, and that's just one time. Imagine all the rest of the time. Now let's get to the word. Alright. Oh shoot. And these are all the words that came out. Let me just get a couple. Alright, So the first one is captivity, and that's the one I was looking for. State of being a prisoner. Damn, so that's pretty hardcore right there. Captive or directly from Latin captivitatem, nominative captivitas, from captivus, cap, taken prisoner. That's from the Old French. Taken prisoner. From captus, participle of capere, to take hold, seize, menagerie, collection of wild animals kept in captivity. Damn. So prison. So those people, my people, went into captivity. Deuteronomy 28:68, and Yahweh Bashem Yahushai shall bring me into Egypt, and that word there is Mizraim. Let's look it up, because I wanted to say captivity. See, Mataza Ryan. Mataza Ryan. Into Egypt. See, when it's talking about Egypt, Mataza Ryan. Mataza Ryan. Alright, translation count is 681 times. King James Version translates Strong's H 47:14 in the following manner: Egypt, Egyptian, Mizraim, Egyptians. So the outline of biblical usage is Egypt, land of the Copts, a country at the northern section of Africa adjacent to Palestine, through which the Nile flows. And we didn't go back to Egypt. Egyptians, double straits, the inhabitants or natives of Egypt. Alright. Land of the Copts. So that's what the Matazarian means. Matazawar. Siege or entrenchment. There's another word for captivity. So let's back a couple times. And get that scripture again, Deuteronomy. Shoot. Well, at least I know where I was. Because the Arawaks were put into captivity. The Aztecs, I mean, all the 10 northern tribes were put into captivity. And Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, shall bring me into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more, and there you shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. So that Egypt is a spiritual Egypt. Because in Egypt we were slaves, so now in this Egypt we will be slaves again. Alright. Job 36:12. But if they obey not, they shall perish by the sword, and they shall die without knowledge. Because if you don't know who you are, You're gonna perish by the sword. So you gotta know who you are. You gotta know if your line goes back to Israel. If it does, then you're gonna be good. But if it doesn't, your ass is grass. So let's take into consideration all these bad things that have been happening. Alright. But too many of the slaves died in captivity, and so Columbus, desperate to pay back dividends to those who had invested, had to make good his promise to fill his ships with gold. In the province of Callao on Haiti, where he and his men imagined huge gold fields to exist, they ordered all persons 14 years or old to collect a certain quantity of gold every 3 months. When they brought it, they were given copper tokens to hang around their necks. Indians found with the copper token had their hands cut off and bled to death. Damn! Because it wasn't them, the gold wasn't there. The gold wasn't there. So that's a punishment right there. Hosea 4:6, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt not be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy power. I will also forget thy children. Man, this guy's, look at that shit. Alright, trying to put together an army of resistance. The Arawaks faced Spaniards who had armor, muskets, swords, horses. When the Spaniards took prisoners, they hanged them or burned them to death. Among the Arawaks, mass suicides began with cassava poison. Infants were killed to save them from the Spaniards. Damn. In 2 years, through murder, mutilation, or suicide, half of the 250,000 Indians on Haiti were dead. Man, so this devil just came and massacred. Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. But be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. So all those reincarnations, that's what we gotta come back and pay for our sins. But hopefully, and we know it's gonna be the last one, but hopefully it'll be short-lived. And what I mean by that is Esau's about to go down, like he's ready to go down. Maybe I shouldn't have used that term short-lived, but that's the one that came. So to end it, the people got taken advantage of because they were basically good-natured, and until they figured out that this was the devil and not someone that they could believe in. So this is Matthew 22:37. Yahushua said unto them, Thou shalt love the Lord thy power with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. So those people were showing love to those people that came, which is the seed of Esau. And Christopher Columbus is the devil. The white man is the devil, and America's Babylon the Great city.